Happy I did. Abacus Foundation Repair guaranteed their work, and they gave me a lifetime transferable warranty.
If you see cracks in the walls of your home or your doors don't shut properly, call Abacus Foundation Repair at 972-406-9000. That's 972-406-9000. Or go to abacusfoundationrepair.com. If you want your foundation fixed right the first time, call Abacus Foundation Repair.
Your 2-year-old has a fever and needs antibiotics. Trouble is, it's 3 a.m. and the doctor's office is closed, so you'll need to pack up all the kids and drive to the ER. But not anymore. If you have Teladoc from mydiscounthealth.com, just call the toll-free number 24/7. You'll speak to a board-certified, state-licensed doctor who, if needed, can write a prescription right over the phone. MyDiscountHealth.com includes Teladoc with 11 other services, including dental, vision, and prescription discounts, all for less than $25 a month. Learn more by calling toll-free 844-450-2273. That's 844-450-2273. This plan is not health insurance and does not replace health insurance. Members pay participating providers directly and receive discounts immediately. Savings varies by provider and service. Cancel within 30 days and get a full refund less processing fee. Discount Medical Plan Organization is Carrington International Corp., Frisco, Texas. This plan is not available in all areas. Call 844-450-2273 or go to mydiscounthealth.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Ann Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention, this is an important announcement for anyone who had surgery to implant a blood clot device. If you or a loved one had a surgery in the past 10 years and your doctor used an IVC filter to trap blood clots, call 800-770-3234 right now. These devices can be life-threatening, and you may be entitled to cash compensation. The FDA is evaluating adverse events caused by these blood clot devices, which can lead to serious injury and even death. These devices could break and lead to serious injury. Please call 800-770-3234 now. Time is limited. Call 800-770-3234 if you or a loved one has one of these dangerous blood clot devices, as you may be entitled to a cash award and compensation. Our toll-free phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-770-3234. That's 800-770-3234. 800-770-3234.
Well, the reality is that with the Solvent bed, you get a much better bed from the standpoint of quality, durability, at a price that is comparable to any bed out there. Solvent bed has a better warranty. It's a 10-year full warranty. You get a bed that is custom tailored, so you're going to have something that is specifically appropriate for you, how you sleep, your size, your weight. Your primary sleeping position is extremely important in the mix. Solvent European Sleep Systems, Inwood and Lovers in Dallas. Learn more at sovn.com.
660 AM, The Answer. Now, The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. The first debate is over. The second is going on as we speak. Coming up at 10 o'clock, we will cover the high points and the low points of the debates you are hearing about in just a little bit here on 660 AM The Answer. In other words, at 10 o'clock, the primetime debate, we'll go through it step by step and tell you who won and who lost here on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer. Let's get to Cindy in Plano, Texas. Cindy, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report.
Yes. First, this is what I told your caller screener, but I will get to that. But I do want to give a shout out for Bobby Jindal. I think he
really did a great job today.
And I think he's brilliant. I think we've discounted him unfairly. But
the thing about it is I think, like I said earlier, Cindy, what I believe is that when Bobby Jindal is trying to be a president, he struggles. But when he's just being Bobby Jindal, he's fine.
Yeah, I agree. What I called specifically about is people need to hear what Carly Theo, I can't pronounce her last name.
Fiorina.
Right, said at the beginning. I didn't get a call from Bill Clinton.
Right.
Did any of you?
Right.
I think what she's basically saying. I think Trump is a Trojan horse.
I think you might be right, and I've thought about that too. Now, Trump says that the reason that he has been in touch with Democrats is because he's in touch with everyone, which is perfectly and completely understandable. He is a businessman. But now that he's crossed over into the world of politics, that is going to be something that's going to haunt him a little bit, and it should. I liked the fact that it came out today that, yeah, Bill Clinton is being reported as convincing Donald Trump to run. His wife is running. So is Donald Trump going to help Hillary Clinton or hurt Hillary Clinton? Cindy, I'm glad you brought that up. That is something that has to be talked about. Let's talk a little bit about something that Rick Santorum said today on putting Americans back to work. It was a very, very good question. Those out of work and those on social programs represented a sea change in American society. And we are trying to figure out how we get Americans weaned off of all of those things. And this is what Rick Santorum said earlier today in the first debate.
Yeah, I think it's a 1-2 punch. Number one, we have to create better paying jobs. I mean, that's just the bottom line. We haven't. And that's the reason that I've said, well, under my presidency, we'll create jobs and make America the #1 manufacturing country in the world. If we want to create jobs for the folks that you're talking about who are having trouble getting off government benefits, primarily because of their low skill level, there is no better way. It's worked for 100 years in America. Putting people back to work in manufacturing is it. I'm going to be introducing a plan which I call the 2020 Perfect Vision for America. It's a 20% flat rate tax. It'll take a blowtorch to the IRS. It will create a manufacturing juggernaut in this country. And you combine that with reforms of our welfare system. You're looking at the man who introduced and fought on the floor as a freshman senator and passed the Welfare Reform Act of 1996. Over 2 President Clinton vetoes, got 70 votes in the United States Senate. Bipartisan issue, and I ended a federal entitlement. Never been done before, never been done since. What we need to do is take the rest of the federal entitlements, not just welfare, but food stamps and Medicaid and housing programs, and do the same thing we did with welfare. Work requirements and time limits. That will change everything.
He is exactly right. That was a brilliant statement. This is what you get when you have, this is one of the upsides of a professional politician, especially somebody like Rick Santorum. First of all, he's completely brilliant. I've seen him on stage. I've seen him off stage. I've seen him over coffee. I've talked to him casually. The man is just simply brilliant. He is, and I haven't had a chance to talk with anybody else. I don't know any of the other candidates as well as I know Rick Santorum. But I can tell you that that is one brilliant guy, with the possible exception of Rick Perry. Another brilliant guy, different sort of person, right? You know, Rick Perry is about an understated way of doing very reasonable, important political work. It's not that he can't step up in front of the people of the United States and explain so on and so forth. It's just that he doesn't prefer that. I mean, he will sit down and explain in very uncertain terms just exactly what he thinks ought to happen, and he will listen to other people's ideas. And if you make a good point, he will say, you know what, that's a good point. And then you'll hear it some other time. I know that for a fact. But what he is not the creation of a television society. Rick Perry is an old-time Texas politician. He's, you know, let's sit down here and talk about this for just a couple seconds. Have you thought about blah, 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 blah? That's Rick Perry. Rick Santorum, on the other hand, is a guy who knows he is very much like one of the founding fathers. I mean, he is Thomas Jefferson smart. He would never, ever say that. He would never even allow that to be spoken around him. But he's that good. He knows government, not just the American government, but world governments now and past. So he had a really good, that was one of his great answers. He had several good ones. Illegal immigration was a huge subject today in the earlier debate. And Rick Perry stepped to the front of the pack with this answer on illegal immigration. What would you say to a child born in America who would see their family pulled apart? This is what Rick Perry said.
Here's the interesting position on this. Americans are tired of hearing this debate want to go to what are you going to do about illegal immigration. For 30 years, this country has been baited with that. All the way back to when Ronald Reagan signed a piece of legislation that basically allowed for amnesty for over 4 million people, and the border still not secure. The American people are never going to trust Washington, D.C., and for good reason. We hear all this discussion about, well, I would do this or I would do that, when the fact is the border is still porous. Until we have a president of the United States that gets up every day and goes to the Oval Office with the intent purpose of securing that border. And there's not anybody on either one of these stages that has the experience of dealing with this as I have for over 14 years with that 1,200-mile border. We have to put the personnel on that border in the right places. You have to put the strategic fencing in place. And you have to have aviation assets that fly all the way from Tijuana to El Paso to Brownsville, Texas, 1,933 miles, looking down 24/7 with the technology to be able to identify what individuals are doing and ID when they are in, obviously, illegal activities or suspicious activities, and quick response teams that come at that particular point in time. Then Americans will believe that Washington is up to a conversation to deal with the millions of people that are here illegally, but not until, if you elect me president of the United States, I will secure that southern border.
He really made no bones about that. You should have seen the look on his face when he said that. Rick Santorum also, to bring up another answer, Rick Santorum told a story about his father, how he did not see his grandfather, in other words, Rick Santorum's grandfather. His father didn't see his dad because when the Santorum family, beginning with Santorum's grandfather, Rick Santorum's grandfather, decided to come to America, they could only get Santorum's father here. In order to get the grandfather here, they had to go through the immigration process with him that was different. 7 years that family was split apart. That was the story that Rick Santorum told. But Rick Perry really does know more about what we need to do with illegal immigration in this country than anybody else. And he showed it in that answer, at least as far as I'm concerned. George Pataki is a professional, pro-polished politician. He's very good as that. I get the feeling, however, that he says what he has to say for whatever reason he has to say it. He had a great answer on homegrown terror and lone wolf attacks in America, and just exactly how far he was willing to go to root out ISIS loyalists here in our country.
Religious liberty doesn't include encouraging a fellow American to engage in violent jihad and kill an American here. That is not protected free speech. That is not protected religious belief. That is like shouting fire in a crowded theater, and that is illegal. And I would do everything in our power, not just to go after those who are here, who we know who are here, before they can radicalize other Americans to carry out attacks. And it's not just the ones they've arrested. Think back to Garland, Texas. But for that Texas police officer, we could have had a mass murder. We have to shut down their internet capability. We have to shut down whether or not they're in prisons preaching or in mosques preaching. No radical Islam that is allowed to engage in encouraging violence against Americans, that is not protected speech. But let me just add one thing about ISIS over there. We have got to destroy their training camps and recruiting centers. I was governor of New York on September 11th. I know that we are at greater risk today than at any time since then of another attack. We have got to destroy their training camps over there before they can attack us here. I don't agree that we're going to occupy and spend another decade or $1 trillion. What we need to do is destroy their ability to attack us here, over there, and then get out. You know, I have two sons, both served. One is a Marine officer in Iraq, one is an Army officer in Afghanistan. I do not want to see one parent or loved one worrying about getting a call in the middle of the night. I would not place one American life at risk unless it was absolutely necessary. But to destroy ISIS, it is necessary.
And once again, there were some plain thoughts spoken about what needs to happen regarding ISIS in the United States of America tonight. If you are a national security person, as I am, then you heard a lot of things that made a lot of sense. Coming up, we also had a chance to talk a little bit about how the president is currently, what modes the president is currently using to fight ISIS. The question was, what would the candidates do differently than President Obama concerning ISIS? And Bobby Jindal said this.
Well, to start with, unlike President Obama, I'll actually name the enemy that we confront. We've got a president who cannot bring himself to say the words radical Islamic terrorism. Now, Bill, he loves to criticize America, apologize for us, criticize medieval Christians. How can we beat an enemy if our commander-in-chief doesn't have the moral honesty and clarity to say that Islam has a problem, and that problem is radical Islam? To say they've got to condemn not just generic acts of violence, but the individual murderers who are committing these acts of violence. We've got a president instead who says we're going to change hearts and minds. Well, you know what? Sometimes you win a war by killing murderous, evil terrorists. We're going to take the political handcuffs off the military. We will arm and train the Kurds. We will work with our Sunni allies. They know we will be committed to victory. We had this failed red line with Assad, and it discouraged folks that want to help us on the ground. Finally, we'll take off the political handcuffs. We'll go to the Congress. This president has gone to Congress and said, give me a 3-year deadline. Give me a ban on ground troops. I'm going to go to the commanders and say, give me a plan to win. You can't send your troops into harm's way unless you give them every opportunity to be successful.
Awesome. Just an awesome answer. You see, that's not the Bobby Jindal that gave the Republican response all those years ago. That's the Bobby Jindal that could be the president of the United States. He's very straightforward. He understands exactly what he's doing. He's very clear. The brain is very well connected. Jeff in Dallas, Texas. Welcome to the Wells Report. Hello.
Hey, Jon-David, I couldn't disagree with your comments about professional politicians more. I think on the conservative side, the people that have business knowledge and experience and can understand some basic common sense and how to balance a checkbook know that the very thing that is what is wrong with this country is the career politician, is the professional politician. From a government standpoint, when I say what's wrong with this country, well, from the government standpoint, I'm going to give you 2 examples. Ken Paxton, most recently, Rick Perry. Rick Perry started his political career when he was 27. To say he's a career politician is an understatement. He was a Democrat at that time. At one point, he decided, I better turn my coat the other side, and he became a Republican. That's disgusting enough in itself that he had the awakening and had to switch sides and just step down at some point.
Okay, well, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Wait, whoa. You hold on. This is not the Jeff Report. It's Jon-David. It's the Wells Report. Let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, so you were also disgusted by Ronald Reagan, right?
I'm disgusted by somebody that would switch parties, yes.
Okay, so you were disgusted with Ronald Reagan.
No, I like Ronald Reagan. But
now, wait a minute. Now, he switched party. Well, he switched parties, too. He was a Democrat as well.
At least he did something after he switched.
Okay, so let me ask you one other question, and then I'll put you on hold, and we'll finish up your conversation because I'm kind of interrupting you on the other side of the break. Jeff, why is it that the people of Texas elected him to be the governor for 14 years?
Because he's a good politician, but that's not saying much. He's put us $330 billion in debt as a state.
No, wait a minute. Okay, so what about the $9 billion in budget surplus? See, that's so okay. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not seeing the same facts you're talking about. Jeff is going to join us in just a couple of seconds, finish up his call as we continue going through the facts of the earlier debate today, and then we'll do the debate going on right now, beginning at 10. This is the Wells Report.
We all know life can get crazy and you're not always near a radio. But one thing is for sure, your phone goes everywhere with you. And now we can too. Download the 660 AM The Answer app to your phone and listen live wherever you go. If you miss any of the Mark Davis Show or the Wells Report, you can catch up whenever, wherever. Plus, dial the 660 AM The Answer studio directly from the app. And it's free. We make it easy to stay connected. Download our app now. 660 AM The Answer.
Each week and every Saturday afternoon, whether you're remodeling an existing house or building a new one, doing it yourself or hiring a professional, we're here to bring you interviews with the experts and take your phone calls. And we bring it to you with a little green, whether it be energy efficiency or organic products for your house. So join us each week for a little House Talk Today.
House Talk Today, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 660 AM The Answer.
Hi, folks. Alan Thicke here. You know, some things in life are just too serious to take chances on, and owing money to the IRS is definitely one of those. The IRS has the power to garnish your paycheck. They can levy your bank account, even take your home or business. Seriously. Thankfully, with one simple call, you can start solving your tax debt once and for all. Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm in the nation. They have over 250 professionals. They have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau and the trust of thousands of satisfied clients. Optima's attorneys can immediately protect you from aggressive collections because they are experts in the Fresh Start Initiative. That's a special IRS debt forgiveness program that could save you thousands. Don't wait till it's too late. Get serious. Call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, does the idea of having your home sold on time without hassle and for top dollar, does that seem unrealistic to you? Well, it doesn't have to. Hey, Dallas, it's your friend Sean Hannity with your solution and the one real estate agent to sell your home guaranteed. That's Josh DeShong of Josh DeShong Real Estate at Keller Williams. On average, Josh sells a home every 32 hours and averages hundreds of local, national, and international buyers every single week. Now, that means your home sells on time at a price that you agreed to, guaranteed, or Josh will buy it. He spends 200 times more money on marketing than the average agent. Real estate mogul and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran only recommends Josh in DFW. And if I lived in Dallas and needed my home sold, guess what? I'd call Josh DeShong, and you should too. Call Josh now at 972-325-6644 or go online at getsold.net. That's 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
Did you know by age 50, half of all men have an enlarged prostate? This means more urges to urinate, longer bathroom trips, waking at night to urinate. If this sounds familiar, call us now because we're shipping free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to listeners of this station. Super Beta Prostate is a non-prescription formula guaranteed to reduce the symptoms of your enlarged prostate. It's yours free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-871-5138. In clinical trials, the ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was shown to reduce urges to urinate, improve bladder emptying, reduce waking at night to urinate, and improve quality of life. This Super Beta Prostate free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Don't wait. Just call 1-800-871-5138. That's 1-800-871-5138. Call 1-800-871-5138.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
If you're retired or retiring soon and not happy with your investment strategy or the advice you've been given, I want to invite you to get a free second opinion. This is Ken Moraif, host of the Money Matters radio show. To register for a free financial portfolio review, go to moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net.
Ken was quoted in MarketWatch. Clients that followed his advice were out of the stock market for all of 2008. Register at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net or call 800-994-0302.
If you've got questions, we've got answers. 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report. Must hear radio on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. Let's get to Jeff. Jeff, thanks very much for hanging on. I just wanted to, we try to have a conversation. We try to deal with facts here. So what else did you want to talk about?
Well, just the fact that, Rick Perry's been going around for the last several years since the economy's really taken a hit, bragging about how great Texas is. And Texas is great, and it's great because of the people here and our hard work and the citizens and the people.
Yeah, but you have noticed that you notice what happens in a country where the government gets in the way of all those people and all that work, right?
Right, but here's what's happened with Texas, and we didn't have to do it this way. I'm going to give you a snapshot of the Texas economy. We have about a $1.1 trillion GDP.
Well, hang on a second. That's not what we're talking about. No, hold on. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this presidential debate. Okay. So what I want to know from you, obviously you're not voting for Rick Perry. Who
never would.
Well, okay, fine. I got it.
He's terrible.
Oh, yeah, I got it. So what I want to know is describe the person you're going to vote for, or describe the person, or tell us who you're going to vote for and why.
Well, what we need is a businessman that understands business. We don't need a career politician. We need somebody like Donald Trump. I don't believe he's electable. He's gone too far, too fast on just destroying people on a personal level, and that's unpresidential.
What about
too many people off? And
what about
can't do that?
What about Carly Fiorina?
I would love to have a president like Carly. She gets it, just like Donald Trump, but I don't think she's electable.
Well, you see, here's the thing, Jeff. She has many more days like this earlier debate. She has many more days like that, and she will be electable. As a matter of fact, I dare say that if she has many more days like she had today, she will be elected. Because let me tell you something, she hit the ball out of the park. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. We are going through the first debate. This was the debate held between 5 and 6 this afternoon. And as we speak, we are preparing coverage for the debate that is currently happening, the primetime debate everybody's talking about with the top 10 candidates. We'll get into that at 10 o'clock tonight. This is the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
I'm Steve Sidkowski, a former Wall Street insider. I'm holding a book that will show you investing strategies which could help you earn the kind of money you've always dreamed about. And right now, I'm giving this book away for free. So who needs to read it? If you're in the middle of your career and worry you'll never have enough money to retire, you need to read this book. If you're already retired and your income isn't enough, you need to read this book. And if you don't want to be selling burgers at 80, you need to read this free book. It includes the strategy I use to make a 72% profit on a trade where the stock only moved 12%. You'll need at least $1 million to ever fully retire. If you're behind on that goal, you really need to read Trade Like the Pros. And you can for free by calling 1-800-708-4557. Skeptical that it will deliver results? It's a free book, so what do you have to lose? Find out how at 1-800-708-4557. 1-800-708-4557.
You just can't get your house to cool down, and your AC, well, it's running nonstop. The AC service company says it's running correctly, but it's still too hot. Who you gonna call? Heat Busters! Call 817-422-6868 or visit theheatbusters.com to get a free energy analysis on your home or business. The Heat Busters are experts in radiant barrier, insulation, high-capacity solar attic fans, and more. In Texas, you need more than just an air conditioner. You need an all-over plan. That's where the Heat Busters come in with amazing, affordable solutions to cool your home. They'll seal up those leaks, install solar control window film, and more. When you need more to cool your home, you should call Heat Busters! Call 817-422-6868 today or visit theheatbusters.com to get cool and start keeping more of your money. They bust the heat, they bust the cold, they bust discomfort and outrageous utility bills. Call 817-422-6868 or online at theheatbusters.com.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pam Puso. There were fireworks right from the start.
Mr. Trump.
During the second Fox News Facebook Republican presidential debate, Donald Trump said the idea of a third-party bid remains open if he's not the GOP nominee.
I can totally make that pledge. If I'm the nominee, I will pledge I will not run as an independent.
That got this response from Kentucky Senator Rand Paul.
He's already hedging his bet on the Clintons, okay?
The Democrats running for president will debate 6 times starting in October. In Louisiana, a suspected cop killer is under arrest. Grover Cannon is accused of gunning down Shreveport officer Thomas LaValle.
He was doing what he loved. He did not hesitate to confront a bad person.
Police Chief Willie Shaw. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer. Listen on iHeartRadio.
Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy, here with the Big Boat and Outdoor Show. It's boating time, folks, so don't forget to tune in to the only boating talk show on 660 AM The Answer every Saturday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. Brought to you by BoatSelect.com, the site with thousands of boats for sale, or list your boat for free on BoatSelect.com. I know you have questions about your boat or one you're buying. Email those questions to me at BigBoatShow@yahoo.com.
Football season is almost here. But wait, don't start daydreaming of all the afternoons camped in front of your TV watching God's sport just yet. Hear me for 1 second. Football's great, and living in Texas means you probably played it growing up. But I bet you didn't know that some kids don't have the chance like you did to play real competitive football. Kids in homeschool and private schools don't have the same opportunities to strap on the helmet. There are even some kids who just need a second chance at hitting the field. And that's why there's TACA, T-A-C-A, which is short for the Texas Alliance of Christian Athletes. Do you have a kid or know of a kid who's in this situation? If so, then go to freeminicamps.com today and register them for TACA's absolutely free football camp. Great athletes and Christ-centered coaching is what TACA is built on. Let your child grow on the field and off with TACA and its free minicamps. That's freeminicamps.com today. That's freeminicamps.com today. Hurry, because camp is right around the corner, so go to freeminicamps.com right now.
When the economy crashed in 2008, the Fed lowered interest rates. They've been low ever since. But now the economy's improving, and most experts believe the Fed will start raising interest rates very soon. That means you should refinance your mortgage now to pull cash out of your home at today's low rates, because once the Fed starts raising rates, they probably won't stop. So beat the Fed to the punch and refi your mortgage before it's too late by making the cash call at 855-875-CASH. Today, Cash Call Mortgage is offering a 15-year fixed at 2.99% rate and APR with no closing costs. You have the chance to pull tens of thousands out of your home, lock in a low rate, and pay absolutely nothing out of pocket, but you have to act now. Cash Call Mortgage is designed to save. Call 855-875-CASH today.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. 1 City Boulevard, West Suite 200, Orange, California 92868. Equal housing lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Subject to loan underwriting. Rates may change without notice. NMLS number 128231.
That's 855-875-CASH.
This isn't a commercial. It's a gift to anyone who's sick and tired of dealing with their hearing loss. Because we'll give everyone who calls a risk-free trial of a life-changing hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear. Not only that, we'll also give you free shipping and free batteries for life. But you must call now. 1-800-943-2757. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. So if you're sick of dealing with your hearing loss, let us give you a 100% risk-free home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-943-2757. That's 1-800-943-2757. 1-800-943-2757.
94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University are excited to welcome a Good Fight Night to Frisco. Friday night, August 14th, 2015 at Elevate Life Church. Fight Night is a fun date for couples of any age or stage. Marriage experts, Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott, interact with you in a night filled with humor and practical new strategies for turning conflict into deeper relationship. They're actually going to show you how conflict can bring you closer together, because if you're like them, you have the occasional cut and you don't want anything to come from that but a bond between you and your spouse. You're going to leave that evening with some fantastic things you can do starting that very night to improve your relationship. Les and Leslie might share a real fight or two of their own to help each of you. Register at FightNightTexas.com. The truth is, we do have distinct differences, and the more we have empathy for each other, the more grace we have for each other. Friday, August 14th, 2015. For more info, visit ElevateLife.com.
This plan is not insurance and does not meet minimum credible coverage requirements under the Affordable Care Act. This discount card program contains a 30-day cancellation and refund period. Administrator and benefits limited, Dallas, Texas, not available in all states.
You went to the dentist and he said you have to have a root canal and a crown. That's going to eat up almost $3,000. You could get it all for around $1,600. That's almost 50% less because you're a member of RealMedSavings.com. What is Real Med Savings? It's a membership like a discount club that lets you access huge networks of medical professionals for a whole lot less money. You save money because we've already negotiated the discounts. RealMedSavings.com costs less than $1 a day for the whole family. But Real Med Savings is not just for dental. It's doctor's consultations, vision, prescription drugs, and more. There's no long-term commitment and no salesman is going to call. Cancel anytime. Save real money on healthcare you need and use for everyday medical problems. Real medical savings for your entire family. RealMedSavings.com.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. We're going through the debate from earlier today. Beginning at 10 o'clock, we're going to be going through the debates that is currently being done and currently being unfolded before the entire country. If you're wondering how come we're not covering the debate live, it's because Fox News wouldn't let us and would not let any other radio station, at least that we're aware of, be able to carry this debate. So what we're doing is we're going back to time-honored journalism standards, and what we're doing is we're bringing up an opportunity to actually cover the story, and that's how we're bringing this to you. Did EP want to say something? Okay. All right, let me get to Norma. Norma in Arlington, Texas. Thanks for joining us. Hi.
Hi. I would probably vote for whoever the Republican nominee is, but it would be awfully difficult to vote for Trump, especially every time I hear him say he would consider running third party. That's just throwing the election to the Democrats. And I would hesitate on Chris Christie, and unless Santorum changes his position to where he's willing to allow for the abortion for the life of the mother, or rape victims, or children, rape, incest, and I would hesitate there. But what I wish is that we had a way to get part of the policies on the ballot instead of just people, because several of the people tonight have came up with some really excellent answers that no one person is going to come up with. But I wish the American people had more of a chance to vote under the policies they have to live under, rather than have some nut come up with things like Obamacare and this Iran agreement that the people basically hate.
All right, dear. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. Let me get to Colleen in North Richland Hills. Hi.
Good evening.
Hi, Ms. Colleen.
How are you?
I am fine.
Good.
Busy little shop tonight, as you might imagine.
Apparently.
Yeah, well,
so.
What people don't realize is that we showed up early and we produced this part of the show for airing at this time. Okay, I mean, we're live and everything like this, but we put it all together in the first part of the show where we normally put the whole thing together. And now, while I've been doing this show, Vicki is preparing the 10 to midnight show, which is going to cover the debate that's currently unfolding right now. We are busy here.
I know. Isn't she an awesome right-hand man?
She's the best EP in the business. She's the best EP in the business.
Absolutely. Okay, here's my deal. I would vote for president for Cruz. I would like to see a woman in office, so I'd vote for Carly Fiorina for vice president.
Right.
I would like to see Scott Walker as Secretary of State, because he did so much in Wisconsin.
Right.
Secretary of Defense, I would say Rubio. And Attorney General, I'd like to see Perry as Attorney General, because he's not going to put up with the EPA. He's not going to take our oil wells and our fracking and the coal mines and this, that, and the other, and all that stuff, and he's not going to dump them for these stupid wind machines that don't do a darn thing any good.
I got you. There are an awful lot. There's an awful lot of talent on these stages. 17 people. A lot of people said that this was going to be a weakness. It's not going to be a weakness. This is what American politics are supposed to be. This is what we are supposed to be able to do. What's happening is that these people on this stage are proving the axiom that America gives you opportunity. You don't have to be in the ruling class, born and raised into the ruling class, to run for president of the United States. Not one person is proving that. Not two, three people are proving that in these debates. Ben Carson, Donald Trump, Carly Fiorina. You don't have to be white. We have people in this group of people. There's Ben Carson, who's African American. There's Ted Cruz, who's Hispanic, and so is Marco Rubio. The latter actually have serious connections to the communist past of Cuba. They've got great stories. We have governors who have been there and done that. Rick Perry, for all the things that people hate about Rick Perry, which I think really need to be rethought at this particular moment, because, you know, it's true. They say that absence makes the heart grow fonder. But I got to be perfectly honest with you, and Greg Abbott's doing a fine job. That's not the point. The point is that I think that people are going to look back on what Rick Perry did in Texas and see one hell of an amazing achievement. The people of Texas knew. They kept reelecting him. And regardless of whether you believe that Rick Perry had anything to do with the economy, I'll be perfectly honest with you, he didn't get in the way either. One of the reasons why I say that Bill Clinton was a really good president, and he was because he didn't get in the way of the greatest economic expansion in the history of the human endeavor, started by Ronald Reagan. He didn't damage the country. He kept things rolling. Rick Perry didn't damage Texas, kept things rolling for 14 years. To me, that's a great, great record to run on. So we have governors. We have senators. Senator Lindsey Graham, as patriotic as can possibly be. Senator Ted Cruz, who is an amazing human being who actually understands the humility that goes with power. He gets it. Marco Rubio said some of the best things I've ever heard any politician say when he declared for the presidency. Is he getting bogged down in some things? Yeah. But what he needs to do is he needs to break loose and start talking to the American people. He will. The best part about this is there is so much going for each one of these candidates, and it's just the beginning. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. Earlier today, speaking of Lindsey Graham, it was asked of all the candidates, what about what the American people think about going to war in Iraq for the third time? Lindsey Graham said this.
If we don't stop them over there, they are coming here just as sure as I stand here in front of you. One thing I want to be clear about tonight. If you're running for president of the United States and you don't understand that we need more American ground forces in Iraq, and that America has to be part of a regional ground force that will go into Syria and destroy ISIL in Syria, then you're not ready to be commander-in-chief, and you're not serious about destroying ISIL. According to the generals that I know and trust, this air campaign will not destroy ISIL. We need a ground force in Iraq and Syria, and America has to be part of that ground force. According to the FBI and the Director of National Intelligence, Syria is becoming a perfect platform to strike our nation. I've got a very simple strategy as your president against ISIL. Whatever it takes, as long as it takes, to defeat them.
That was Lindsey Graham making great sense. He is a former, I believe he's a naval officer. He's a former officer in the United States military. So he gets it. You take the fight to the enemy. And you don't relent. And you keep after it, and you keep after it, and you keep after it. One of the great questions of the debate earlier today was whether or not the same-sex marriage ruling from the Supreme Court of the United States, whether or not that was settled law. Rick Santorum hit it out of the park when he said this.
It is not any more than Dred Scott was settled law to Abraham Lincoln, who in his first inaugural address said, it won't stand. And they went ahead and passed laws in direct contravention to a rogue Supreme Court. This is a rogue Supreme Court decision. Just like Justice Roberts said, there is no constitutional basis for the Supreme Court's decision. And I know something about this. One of the times the Supreme Court spoke that I thought they were acting outside of their authority was in a partial birth abortion case. You know, these Planned Parenthood tapes, what they're showing are partial birth abortions. Abortions being done where the baby's being delivered first to preserve those organs, and then they crush the skull. Well, the Supreme Court found a bill that I was the author of unconstitutional. What did I do? I didn't stop. I didn't say, oh, well, we lost. It's the law of the land. We worked together, the House and Senate, under my leadership, and we passed a bill, and we said, Supreme Court, you're wrong. We're a co-equal branch of the government. We have every right to be able to stand up and say what is constitutional. We passed a bill, bipartisan support, and the Supreme Court, they sided with us. Sometimes it just takes someone to lead and stand up to the court.
Senator. Yeah, it does. Leadership is what it's all about. You absolutely have to stand up, and you have to make it work. 866-660-5759 is our telephone number. Okay, so these were the first 7. The final 10 duking it out on the stage of the Quicken Loans Arena right this minute. And so, and by the way, we're going to cover that beginning in 43 minutes and 31 seconds. We're going to start parsing out the debate that's going on right now. Once again, we'd be playing this for you live. We'd be actually moderating it for you live if it wasn't for the fact that Fox News won't let us have it. 866-660-5759. Let me get to Bill in Eastland, Texas. Bill, what did you think of Lindsey Graham's statement?
Oh, this, after doing 2 wars, Jon-David, he's got it right. You got to have ground troops. You can't do it with the air. You can't do it through negotiations. You got to have boots on the ground, the grunts out there, and they'll stop it.
You know a little bit about that, don't you?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Let's see. That was Vietnam, and then there was the Iraq War. How many other wars?
Yeah,
I mean, you've been in just about every one of them, haven't you?
Yeah, I tried.
So, what do you think about? What did you think about the first 7 so far? What did you think about? What did you think about the actual? I think that the field of candidates, Bill, is a very, very good thing, not just for the Republican Party, but for the nation.
It is for the nation because this is the first time that we're actually having, like you said earlier, common people, not just career politicians, not senators and governors, but just people out of business that have been successful in business, actually running for government, a federal office. And this is, they're not career politicians. They can make a difference. And I think that's what the American people are latching on to these people for.
I agree 100%. Bill, thanks very much for your call. Miss you, brother. Telephone number 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. You're listening to the Wells Report as we go through what's been going on regarding these debates. Telephone number 866-660-5759. And very interested in hearing what you have to say. A lot of people have been talking about how the Republican Party is somehow a bunch of old white guys. We've got a female running. We have African American running. We have Hispanics running. We've got non-politicians running. We've got a broad tent. We've got a great big tent here with lots of people in it. And every single one of them in that tent want an America that is vibrant and prosperous and gives the American people an opportunity to live in a wonderful world in a wonderful way. And you got to work for it. And you have to defend it. And you have to do all the things that make this country great. Is that what we've had for the last 6.5 years? No. But maybe we'll have it for the next 4, maybe the next 8. We've just got to keep listening. This is the Wells Report.
Dennis Prager believes the left will leave no stone unturned.
How impossible it has become to avoid leftism. There is nothing that is freed from their tentacles. They must intrude everywhere. The arrogance of people on the left is so deep because they know better.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM. The Answer.
For almost 2 decades, financial advisor and educator Rick Poston with Empowered Wealth Financial Services has provided peace of mind to thousands who see or hear him in the media or read his work. Rick has been chosen by Bloomberg Business Week magazine as one of the top 20 game-changing financial advisors in the country. A fan of Rick's profound teaching, Brian Tracy, world-renowned business leader, speaker, and best-selling author, has asked Rick to co-author his newest book entitled The Winning Way, where Rick will share with his fans some of the principles that allow Rick's clients to continue on their winning way. If you are looking to break away from that same old investment plan that has provided you with one too many disappointments, stay tuned to 660 AM The Answer every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock for the most educational hour on financial talk radio with Empowered Wealth Radio, live, or call 469-361-4020.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. As Republican candidates prepare for their first televised debate, they should avoid the temptations of anger and negativity. It's true that rage merchants can grab headlines and make temporary gains in the polls, and it's also true that the angriest candidate, Donald Trump, is the current frontrunner. But in November, the people won't elect someone just to express their wrath. They will choose instead a candidate who credibly offers to make things better. There's no candidate in history who ever won the presidency based on rage. Certainly, after 7 years of Obama's misrule, there are reasons for frustration, even despair. And at a time when 2/3 think we're on the wrong track, indignation is appropriate. But the best response is pointing to the right track, not simply hollering about the wretched state of things. Successful politicians have embraced the title Happy Warrior. A grumpy warrior can get headlines, but won't win national elections. I'm Michael Medved.
Learn more at townhallreview.com.
2 little tablets is all it takes to get thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Viviscal is the #1 drug-free hair growth supplement in the U.S., with 1 box being sold every minute globally. It's clinically proven, loved by celebrities, and recommended by doctors. And right now, a 90-day supply of Viviscal is being offered in your area risk-free plus free shipping. Call 800-481-7987. Viviscal nourishes thinning hair from within. It makes thin hair full hair beautiful, and promotes the growth of thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Viviscal is so effective, 96% of women would recommend it to a friend. Listen to this.
It's vibrant, shiny, bouncy, everything you want your hair to be. I love Viviscal because it works. It completely works.
Want to try Viviscal? Every listener that calls can try it risk-free for 90 days, plus free shipping. Get thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Call now, 800-481-7987. 800-481-7987. That's 800-481-7987.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas, is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots, but doctors have discovered they're unable to reverse or control serious side effects, such as internal bleeding caused by Xarelto. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. If you or a loved one was hospitalized for any form of internal bleeding or stroke after taking Xarelto, you may be entitled to a cash award and substantial financial compensation. There's limited time to file a claim, so call 800-714-0385 now. Call 800-714-0385. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-714-0385. That's 800-714-0385. Again, 800-714-0385.
Have you ever considered joining the military but stopped because you couldn't deploy to a foreign country? Believe it or not, the state of Texas has its own military force that stands alongside the Texas National Guard, the Texas Air National Guard, and serves only inside the state of Texas. It's called the Texas State Guard. I'm Tech Sergeant John Wells of the 4th Air Wing, and we're looking for you to join us. Give us a call at 877-398-8350. That's 877-398-8350. If you love Texas as much as we do, join the 4th Air Wing of the Texas State Guard.
You can listen on the go. Find us on iHeartRadio. 660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report is on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Telephone number 866-660-5759. Let me get to David in Louisville, Texas. David, thanks for joining us. Hi.
Hi, Jon-David. Love your show.
Thank you, sir.
I would be in front of the
TV, watch the debate, but I have to take care of my daughter at volleyball.
Well, we wanted to make sure that the people that were stuck, basically like us, working when the debate was going on, and of course didn't have any access to it, we wanted to make sure that you guys did have access to it. So as we speak, we are preparing. We were preparing the coverage for the debate going on right this moment.
Thank you.
So we'll have it for you after 10 o'clock.
That is great. Hey, Jon-David, question for you. I currently am a Ted Cruz fan.
Yes, sir.
And I love Ted Cruz. I love Rick Santorum, and I supported him last time. But what I don't understand, and nobody's answered, the true bottom line. I mean, Rick Santorum had won 11 states, and he pulled out and quit because he had a sick daughter at home and had to get home to a sick daughter. He had access to nurses and doctors and traveling hospitals and all kinds of money. Why, Jon-David, did Rick Santorum give up? I am not supporting Rick Santorum this term. I cannot handle a quitter.
Well, but the thing about it was this. Look, Rick Santorum won the Iowa caucuses.
Yes.
But what was the headline in every newspaper in the free world the day afterwards? That's right. Mitt Romney wins the Iowa caucuses. It wasn't true. Rick Santorum won the Iowa caucuses.
Was the count really close or something?
No, it wasn't close. No, it wasn't close. It was. I mean, it was close enough to be in contention. But the thing about it is the Republican Party leadership, Reince Priebus, wanted Mitt Romney to be the candidate. And so what they did is they ran Rick Santorum off the road. Now, keep thinking with me here. And by the way, Rick Santorum would have none of this when I brought it up to him. Okay, would have absolutely none of this when I brought it up. So this is just what I believe happened. You have to remember also that in 2012, what ended up happening is that the Texas primary was moved back to June. And the reason hang on a second. It was moved back to June because of some problem with the redistricting. Well, all the federal courts came in and said, hey, we've got to take a look at these districts. And strangely enough, as soon as the fait accompli was done, the districts were signed off on. And the fait accompli was getting rid of Rick Santorum. Because if the entire schedule goes as planned, Rick Santorum comes to Texas after winning the Iowa caucuses and 11 other primaries and sews up the nomination by winning Texas, which he would have done.
I can't stand the evil elites, the Bonyers and the Mitch McConnells, and we need Ted Cruz. We need a Christian in there, Jon-David.
What we need people that are more important, more interested in the country's success than the party's success. I think that's the way you want to say it right there. Look, Rick Santorum was sabotaged. And then when he realized that no matter how hard he worked, no matter how many primaries he won, he was still going to be sabotaged. He went home to his sick daughter and his wife and his kids. Rick Santorum is a guy who has a place in American elective politics. That he is on the sidelines now is one of the reasons why the American political system needs a serious looking at. We've got to do better than this. And that starts with us, not the politicians, us. We have to do better. This is the Wells Report.
The Mike Gallagher Show.
Who are the winners and losers from the first Republican presidential debate? We'll break down the candidates' responses with the National Review's Rich Lowry and Mediaite columnist Joe Concha. Also, new emails released by the IRS show Lois Lerner considered targeting Bristol Palin because she was a spokesperson for a teen pregnancy charity. I have the details. Join us for that and more.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 10, right before Dennis Prager at noon on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM. The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
I had the home of my dreams, but one day I noticed cracks in the wall by the front door as well as the kitchen window. A neighbor recommended Abacus Foundation Repair. He said they're the best foundation repair company in Dallas, and they use an advanced system on your foundation called Millennium Composite Pilings that'll last 1,000 years. Well, I went to their website, abacusfoundationrepair.com, and saw that they have an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau, and the world's leading service company review website recommended them highly. And the best part? They haven't had a complaint in the last 13 years. So I called them, and I'm happy I did. Abacus Foundation Repair guaranteed their work, and they gave me a lifetime transferable warranty.
If you see cracks in the walls of your home or your doors don't shut properly, call Abacus Foundation Repair at 972-406-9000. That's 972-406-9000. Or go to abacusfoundationrepair.com. If you want your foundation fixed right the first time, call Abacus Foundation Repair.
Hey, when choosing a financial advisor, outstanding reputation, decades of experience, and a successful track record are very important. The good news is I have someone I would like for you to meet. Hey, Sean Hannity here for my friend Bob Guess at Texas First Financial. Now, Bob Guess is an author, a speaker, an educator who has taught at SMU and other prestigious campuses in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, with his experience and the help of his team, Bob's clients earn a 9% return on their investments. That's a 9% return backed 100% by hard assets and no market volatility. Now it's time you placed your investments with one of Texas Monthly's top advisors. Now I know attractive, predictable, stable returns on your investments are important to you. Call Bob and his team today at 972-570-4444. That's 972-570-4444 for 9% returns and no market risk. Now make sure you check them out yourself. Tell them Sean Hannity sent you.
Are you struggling with drug or alcohol addiction? Are you ready to admit who you are? An out-of-control addict? Good. Now, let me tell you who we are and why you should call us at the Lighthouse in Anaheim, California. We are a licensed rehab facility. We've treated thousands of clients for 15 years and have an excellent reputation from trauma to detox to recovery. All treatment is kept gender specific, not co-ed. Almost all of our staff have personal experience in recovery ourselves, so we can empathize with you. We can talk to you and know what you're going through. Recovery is our life's work. All our counselors are certified. Our therapists are all master's degree level or higher. We are accredited by the highest international rating agency for residential facilities. We are committed to your lifelong recovery and success. We'll come pick you up 24/7 at your location in Southern California, and we accept most HMO and PPO insurances. If you're ready, call today, 1-877-959-5909. That's 877-959-5909. The Lighthouse in Anaheim, a beacon of hope.
You know, when you wake up feeling sore, whether it's shoulder pain, hip pain, low back issues, that tells you that your bed probably needs to be replaced. You know, if you're a side sleeper and your bed is too firm and it's compressing the shoulders or the hips, it causes torsional rotation, which is essentially twisting of the body. And what we do with a Sovereign bed is we fit you for a bed that is going to hold your body in a neutral position. Sovereign European Sleep Systems, Inwood and Lovers in Dallas. Learn more at sovn.com.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
Dallas, Fort Worth's home for stimulating talk. 660 AM, The Answer. If it's important to you, we're talking about it right now on the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Telephone number is 866-660-5759. Got some more answers for you from the earlier debate tonight. The first 7 candidates took the stage at 5 o'clock Central Time, and we covered that from a journalistic standpoint. We're not able to take the debate live. And what I'm trying to figure out here is I'm trying to figure out why that's in Fox's best interest, but that's none of my business. We'll cover the story beginning at 10 o'clock tonight, and we'll have more on the debate that is currently going on while we discuss the one that happened earlier today. One of the things about what we deal with in presidential politics is what President Obama has done with the notion of executive power or executive orders. One of the things that we had noticed regarding President Obama is his willingness to stretch the executive order power far beyond what it was designed to do originally. Originally, executive orders were in place to help the executive branch either clarify a law or to expedite a law in some way that would just basically be used as a streamlining tool. What the Obama administration determined was, now, wait a second, we can use the executive privilege or we use executive orders as a way to make law unilaterally. Now, when the Democrats were in power, nobody argued with them because the media is in the bag for liberal policy. The media doesn't cover the story. Now, as soon as a Republican president takes office and starts using executive privilege in exactly the same way as President Obama used it, then we'll see the hue and cry across the land from the mainstream media about how ridiculous it was we were creating an imperial presidency and blah, 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 blah. I would expect that the next Republican president of the United States do exactly that. What they should do is they should absolutely follow in the same footsteps as President Obama, except with conservative/Republican policies, and see what the media does. Now, I don't know whether or not that's going to train the media into being something that is more fair. Probably not. But then again, we don't have anybody to blame but ourselves, and that's Ronald Reagan who deregulated the media, which was a mistake. Anyway, that's another story for another day. What we do have right this very moment is we have a question about executive orders. And what would your first executive order be? Virginia Governor Jim Gilmore had the best answer on this one. Listen.
It's not a matter of what the first executive order would be, Bill. The matter is what orders exist now that shouldn't exist. The president has done an executive order with respect to illegal immigration that is illegal, and it creates a contempt for the law, for the rule of law. If I were the president of the United States, I'd go and look at every executive order that exists right now and determine which ones want to be voided, because the president shouldn't be legislating, not through that vehicle or any other. We should be relying upon the leadership of the Congress to pass the laws.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is not a dictatorship. We do not elect a king. We elect a president. The president oversees the executive branch of government. This particular president has taken that power well beyond its established limits. Now, you can look at this one of two ways. You can say, well, just because nobody else thought of it before President Obama took office doesn't mean that it's wrong. Okay, that's valid. But then there are things like, traditions of office. Are some of those traditions stupid? Yes, some of them are stupid. Are some of them anachronistic? Do they need to be swept away with time? Yes, they do. Is the idea of executive orders being used by the president one of them? No, it's not. That's a traditional thing that needs to be used as it was intended, which was to streamline and expedite law, not to create it out of whole cloth. Further, what the president has done with the executive branch is he has given way too much power to the executive branch agencies. EPA has been turned into essentially a group of thugs wandering around, capriciously, arbitrarily fining people hundreds of thousands of dollars for nothing, for things that are not the government's purvey. My favorite example is that couple in Wyoming. They build, let me give you an example of this. The EPA will absolutely destroy your world if you do anything like drain the swamp in your backyard. They will absolutely ruin your world. They'll fine you. They'll throw you in jail. I mean, they will destroy you. But think about this. A couple in Wyoming who has a stream running through their property, their stream. They build a beautiful pond. It's gorgeous. They actually create wetlands. And the EPA comes and fines them something like $75,000 a day. For what? It's not their water. It's not their land. It's none of their dang business. But that happened under President Obama's watch. That has to end. It has to end immediately, and it's going to take somebody besides somebody who wants to enact law, enact policy without the benefit of the legislature. We don't make laws like this. It's an outright abuse of the American system. 866-660-5759. What are we doing all of this for? We're trying to pick a president. We are trying to find out who the next president of the United States is going to be. That's why we're doing all of this. Now, you may not have made your decision yet about who the president is going to be, but you may know what kind of person that president is going to be. In other words, you may not necessarily know the name of the president you're going to vote for, but you can describe that person. I don't know who I'm going to vote for, but I am going to vote for a reasonable constructionist when it comes to the U.S. Constitution. I'm going to vote for somebody that understands the humility of great power. I am going to elect someone. I'm going to vote for someone. I'm not going to elect them, but I'm going to vote for somebody that believes in American exceptionalism. I'm going to vote for people who work for the benefit of Americans, not in spite of them. I'm going to vote for somebody that believes that America is the greatest nation on the planet, not just by virtue of military power, not just by virtue of weaponry, not by virtue of technology, but by virtue of the fact that we export great and glorious things: prosperity, liberty, freedom. I want to vote for somebody that is not going to export to all of these smaller countries Planned Parenthood. I want to know what those people in those countries think of the United States. These people are sending us people that come to our country and offer us a chance to kill our babies. What kind of country is the United States? That's a question being asked right now. And you know why it's being asked right now? Because liberalism, progressivism, all of this is running its course. This is why you cannot elect Democrats. Until they get control of their party again, Democrats are off the menu if you're an American. Even if you're a Democrat. I mean, you guys are in a situation here where you can't vote for your own people. And the reason you can't is because you're going to empower the wrong people, the progressives. These people are simple government-first totalitarian thugs. That's what they are. Well, now, wait a minute, Jon-David. Didn't you say that Jeb Bush is a progressive? Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm not backing off of that one bit. Was George W. Bush a progressive? No. If he was, I wouldn't have voted for him. Once or twice. I did both. Now, maybe President Bush wants to show up on the Wells Report and tell me why I'm wrong about his brother. You're welcome anytime, Mr. President. Our telephone number is 86. You don't even have to show up. 866-660-5759. But to me, Jeb Bush is a progressive guy. a political ideology that knows no party, that knows no ethical system that I'm aware of. All I know about progressives is that they want to destroy those who are unfit. And progressives gave us Planned Parenthood. Wholesale slaughter of African Americans. It's like, what are you doing? And Democrats are standing up for it and somehow being able to make the accusations about Republicans being racist stick, even though Democrats, progressives, are responsible for just the wholesale slaughter of unborn African American babies. What are you doing? I mean, this is a statement of truth. This is the news. This isn't some partisan ideology. This isn't speculation on my part. These are the facts. So, who are you electing? You have some idea of who I'm electing? Who are you going to elect? Who are you going to vote for? I hope we don't have anybody like President Obama and his hope and change for a long time to come. Hope and change came up. Hope and change has basically turned the country into a group of people dependent on government. Bobby Jindal had a superb answer about what it's going to take to change hope and change.
You know, we've got a lot of great talkers running for president. We've already got a great talker in the White House. We cannot afford 4 more years of on-the-job training. We need a doer, not a talker. We also need a nominee, a candidate who will endorse our own principles. Jeb Bush says we got to be willing to lose the primary in order to win the general. Let me translate that for you. That's the establishment telling us to hide our conservative principles to get the left and the media to like us. That never works. If we do that again, we will lose again. We will deserve to lose again. One principle, for example, we've got to embrace is on immigration. We must insist on assimilation. Immigration without assimilation is an invasion. We need to tell folks who want to come here, they need to come here legally. They need to learn English, adopt our values, roll up their sleeves, and get to work. I'm tired of the hyphenated Americans and the division. I've got the backbone, I've got the bandwidth, I've got the experience to get us through this. I'm asking folks not just to join my campaign, but join a cause. It is time to believe in America again.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
We're ready to believe you.
Here's Magic Matt Swinney. Let me explain something to you. Okay? That scored about a 9.5 on the shiverometer. Right? When he said that earlier tonight, I went, whoa. Whoa. Immigration without assimilation is an invasion. You're absolutely right, Bobby Jindal. Absolutely right. I've always thought that invasion was just a little bit too strong a word for illegal immigration. I still do, but that's a great phrase. That is a great statement. I don't agree with 100% of it, but it's good. By the way, somebody brought something up on Twitter earlier today, and it was somebody who'd listened to the Wells Report for a long, long time. He said, I was talking about Rick Perry. He's got the best record, the best story to tell among all the Republican governors. And he said, I remember the Trans-Texas Corridor, and I remember Gardasil, and JD, you were not real kind to Governor Perry during those times, right? I absolutely vehemently disagreed with both of them. Absolutely, especially when I found out the Trans-Texas Corridor was nothing more than the same problems we have now. And Gardasil was out of the purvey of the government. That was just the wrong thing to do. But that was a different Rick Perry, or if it's the same Rick Perry, believe me, I'll cross swords with him again. I don't have any problem telling him when he's wrong. This is the Wells Report.
20 plus years of unemployment. That's what retirement is or should be, but imagine still working when you're 75 because you didn't have an exit plan for the next stock market crash. If you think your current plan has too much risk, listen to Rick Foster and Kevin Christ Sundays at 11 a.m. on 660 a.m. The Answer. Rick and Kevin will tell you the truth about the financial world we live in. No one knows when the next correction will be. So listen to Plain Talk No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ Sundays at 11 a.m. on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Each week and every Saturday afternoon, whether you're remodeling an existing house or building a new one, doing it yourself or hiring a professional, we're here to bring you interviews with the experts and take your phone calls. And we bring it to you with a little dream, whether it be energy efficiency or organic products for your house. So join us each week for a little House Talk Today.
House Talk Today, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 660 a.m. The Answer.
This isn't a commercial. It's a gift to anyone who's sick and tired of dealing with their hearing loss. Because we'll give everyone who calls a risk-free trial of a life-changing hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear. Not only that, we'll also give you free shipping and free batteries for life. But you must call now. 1-800-943-2757. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. So if you're sick of dealing with your hearing loss, let us give you a 100% risk-free home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-943-2757. That's 1-800-943-2757. 1-800-943-2757.
You just can't get your house to cool down, and your AC, well, it's running nonstop. The AC Service Company says it's running correctly, but it's still too hot. Who you gonna call? Heat Busters! Call 817-422-6868 or visit theheatbusters.com to get a free energy analysis on your home or business. The Heat Busters are experts in radiant barrier, insulation, high-capacity solar attic fans, and more. In Texas, you need more than just an air conditioner. You need an all-over plan. That's where the Heat Busters come in with amazing, affordable solutions to cool your home. They'll seal up those leaks, install solar control window film, and more. When you need more to cool your home, you should call Heat Busters! Call 817-422-6868 today or visit theheatbusters.com to get cool and start keeping more of your money. They bust the heat, they bust the cold, they bust discomfort and outrageous utility bills. Call 817-422-6868 or online at theheatbusters.com.
Sample comes with a 90-day order. Copays and deductibles may apply.
If you or someone you care for are using painful urinary catheters, Medical Direct Club can help. There's a new catheter that hurts less, and you can get a free sample with free shipping by calling now. Pain and urinary tract infections can be avoided if you're using urinary catheters. The new disposable catheters from Medical Direct Club hurt less due to an incredible new design that reduces pain by gliding easily and effortlessly. Old catheters can scrape and cut, causing pain and infection. These new catheters from Medical Direct Club are changing the lives of people who use urinary catheters. Medicare and your insurance will pay for up to 200 of these new catheters per month at little or no cost to you. Medical Direct Club handles all of the paperwork with your doctor and includes lifetime free shipping when you join. Membership and a free sample are free, so call Medical Direct Club now. 1-800-600-6144. That's 1-800-600-6144. End painful cathing today. Call 1-800-600-6144.
This plan is not insurance and does not meet minimum credible coverage requirements under the Affordable Care Act. This discount card program contains a 30-day cancellation and refund period. Administrator and benefits limited, Dallas, Texas, not available in all states.
You went to the dentist and he said you have to have a root canal and a crown. That's going to eat up almost $3,000. You could get it all for around $1,600. That's almost 50% less because you're a member of RealMedSavings.com. What is Real Med Savings? It's a membership like a discount club that lets you access huge networks of medical professionals for a whole lot less money. You save money because we've already negotiated the discounts. RealMedSavings.com costs less than $1 a day for the whole family. But Real Med Savings is not just for dental. It's doctor's consultations, vision, prescription drugs, and more. There's no long-term commitment and no salesman is going to call. Cancel anytime. Save real money on healthcare you need and use for everyday medical problems. Real medical savings for your entire family. RealMedSavings.com.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. Now, by popular demand, The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells, 866-660-5759. So, now what we do is we get to look at what has been happening tonight. This is going to be interesting because I have not heard the debate either. But we will unfold it together here on 660 AM The Answer, as we'll go through the next couple of hours of the Wells Report discussing what's going on with regards to the primetime debate tonight with the top 10 presidential candidates. It looks like they're about to start their final statements, and we'll talk about some of the statements they made earlier tonight on the Wells Report as we continue here on 660 AM The Answer. American presidential politics. Starting tonight, officially. Now, we're in campaign season. This is going to be a very instructive election. I don't think it'll be as important as the last two. But I will tell you this. At the end of this particular election season, by virtue of who we elect as President of the United States, we will chart a much longer-term course for the fate of the nation. One of these people is going to be the Republican answer to the Democrats. I wonder which one it will be. This is the Wells Report.
We all know life can get crazy and you're not always near a radio, but one thing is for sure, your phone goes everywhere with you. And now we can too. Download the 660 AM The Answer app to your phone and listen live wherever you go. If you miss any of the Mark Davis Show or the Wells Report, you can catch up whenever, wherever. Plus, dial the 660 AM The Answer studio directly from the app. And it's free. We make it easy to stay connected. Download our app now. 660 AM The Answer.
How will the future affect the money decisions you make now? Find out Saturday morning with Jerry Tuma and John Criswell on Smart Money. Smart Money will bring you the latest information regarding financial markets and what it means to you and your investment and retirement portfolio. Not knowing could be costly. Smart Money, a voice of experience and integrity, with Jerry Tuma and John Criswell. Saturday mornings at 8 on 660 AM. The Answer.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-573-2467. That's 1-800-573-2467. 1-800-573-2467. Or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, Staples guy. I need school supplies for my kids, and I can't spend a lot.
With Staples' 110% price match guarantee for back to school, find an item for less, and we'll match the price and give you 10% of the difference.
So I'll get the lowest price on backpacks?
Yes.
Notebooks?
Mm-hmm.
Calculators?
You bet.
Even?
Yep.
Nice.
Make low prices happen. Make 110% ready happen. Staples. Make more happen.
Price match plus the 10% difference discount valid at checkout for items from retailers operating online and retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. Valid through 9/19/15. See store or staples.com for details.
This is 660 AM The Answer. Service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM The Answer.
Fox News ready to go. I'm Pam Crusoe. He's got a bullseye on his back, and Donald Trump knows it.
I've been challenged by so many people, and I don't frankly have time for total political correctness.
The Republican presidential hopeful center stage at the Fox News Facebook debate, also taking plenty of hits.
If I'm our nominee, how is Hillary Clinton going to lecture me about living paycheck to paycheck? I was raised paycheck to paycheck.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio Senator Charles Schumer says he won't support the Iran nuclear deal, the New York Democrat citing serious weaknesses. Deliberations resume tomorrow in Colorado, jurors deciding the fate of movie theater shooter James Holmes.
Their job, decide whether Holmes should be put to death or live the rest of his life in a Colorado prison. Holmes did not testify or make a plea for his life.
Fox's Dan Springer. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Stimulating talk, 660 AM, The Answer. Bill Bennett will bend over backwards to get new listeners.
Let's go to Wayne in Shenandoah, Virginia. What are you doing up? Why are you up?
I'm fixing to go to McDonald's and have coffee with about 14 other old men, and then we're going to go feed the cattle.
Do those other guys listen to this show?
One or two.
Well, can we get those numbers up? I'll tell you what, I'll buy a round of coffee if you'll talk us up. I'll buy a round of coffee.
Bill Bennett's Morning in America, weekday mornings at 5, right before the Mark Davis Show at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. As Republican candidates prepare for their first televised debate, they should avoid the temptations of anger and negativity. It's true that rage merchants can grab headlines and make temporary gains in the polls, and it's also true that the angriest candidate, Donald Trump, is the current frontrunner. But in November, the people won't elect someone just to express their wrath. They will choose instead a candidate who credibly offers to make things better. There's no candidate in history who ever won the presidency based on rage. Certainly, after 7 years of Obama's misrule, there are reasons for frustration, even despair. And at a time when 2/3 think we're on the wrong track, indignation is appropriate. But the best response is pointing to the right track, not simply hollering about the wretched state of things. Successful politicians have embraced the title Happy Warrior. A grumpy warrior can get headlines, but won't win national elections. I'm Michael Medved.
Learn more at townhallreview.com.
Hi, I'm Jon-David Wells, here for my friend Walt Parker and InvestingMakesMeSick.com. I've had the very good fortune of getting to know Walt and all the people at InvestingMakesMeSick.com. I've known them for several years, and believe me, these people are people you want to get to know. Walt, everybody seems to want to offer the same old stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities. Tell us what's the difference with what you do.
What we do is educate people and let them know that there is more to investing than the same old, same old. We're in exciting times right now with alternative investment opportunities that can give our clients control over their future.
This is why getting help making a decision about your investment planning is so very important. Walt and his team offer We Come to You service and appointment times that work for you. To schedule one of those, an appointment call 972-463-3833, 972-463-3833, or check out their all-new website at investingmakesmesick.com. All investments involve risk. Investments may be considered speculative and incur substantial fees and expenses borne by the investor. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Titan Securities. InvestingMakesMeSick.com and Titan Securities are not affiliated.
You've been thinking about switching to solar. Don't wait much longer or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Move quickly because the tide is turning. Solar power is becoming a threat to big energy profits. In fact, some power companies are even pushing for extra fees to make up for lost revenue. Warning, you must have your solar system up and running by midnight December 31st or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Energy prices are expected to increase by as much as 40% in the near future. Go solar now with no down payment, interest, or payments for a whole year. You can afford it because we finance. Get your government money and save big every month. Big Energy is getting nervous and the door of opportunity is about to slam shut. Paying $150 a month or more on energy bills? Then call 1-800-MY-SOLAR now for a free in-home assessment. 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
My home, my savings, 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a select quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-573-2467. That's 1-800-573-2467. 1-800-573-2467. Or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer.
Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. So the top 10 Republican candidates, by virtue of national polling, hit the stage tonight for the nation's second Republican presidential debate. Hi, I'm Jon-David Wells. You're listening to The Wells Report. And what we have done tonight is Fox News did not give us rights to actually run the debates. Normally what we do, if you listen to The Wells Report, is we grab a hold of these broadcasts and we put them on the air. Could not do that this time because Fox News wanted everybody going to Fox News channel. And so what we are doing here on The Wells Report is we are your first source for a journalistic effort about what happened in the debates. Now, we got together earlier today and we listened to the first debate, which was between 4 and 5 with the first 7 candidates, and they were superb, especially Carly Fiorina, Bobby Jindal, Rick Perry, and Rick Santorum. Those were my top 4. Okay, the others did fine too. Nobody hurt themselves. Everybody did really well. And so while that was happening, while we actually hit the air at 8 o'clock and started telling that story, the best executive producer in American radio has been covering the story of the primetime debate. You and I will now unfold that work that she's been doing while she goes to even more lengths to be able to give us the final hour of the debate. So when you hear all of the hard work that you're about to hear, know that the person who put all this together was executive producer Vicky Stifer, which is why, when you hear me say, that's not a call screener, that's the executive producer of the program. When you actually call 860, and by the way, she was taking calls while she was doing all this, okay? So, yeah. So when you show up on the air, and I know it's kind of anxiety ridden because being on the air is tough. I understand it. I got it. It's nervous. You get nervous. And you say, well, I told your call screener. No, that's the executive producer of the Wells Report. Totally different job title. And she deserves it. And here is proof. So tonight, they got together. The fireworks started right off the bat. Brett Baer reminded Donald Trump that he was standing on a Republican debate stage and asked him for a commitment that he would not go through this process and then make the decision to run as an independent. Here is what Donald Trump had to say about that.
I cannot say I have to respect the person that if it's not me, the person that wins. If I do win and I'm leading by quite a bit, that's what I want to do. I can totally make that pledge. If I'm the nominee, I will pledge I will not run as an independent. But and I am discussing it with everybody, but I'm talking about a lot of leverage. We want to win, and we will win. But I want to win as the Republican. I want to run as the Republican nominee.
So tonight you can't say if another one of these...
This is what's wrong. I mean, This is what's wrong.
He buys and sells politicians of all stripes. He's already, hey, look, he's already hedging his bet on the Clintons, okay?
That's Rand Paul, by
So
the
if
way.
he doesn't run as a Republican, maybe he supports Clinton or maybe he runs as an independent.
Okay.
But I'd say that he's already hedging his bets because he's used to buying politicians.
Well, I've given him plenty of money.
Well, so it started out with fireworks, just as Vicky Stifer said. So that was Senator Rand Paul jumping right in and getting in the face of Donald Trump. And how about getting along with your party? Well, is Donald Trump going to get along with your party? Are all these candidates going to get along with their party? Here's Ted Cruz.
I think the big problem this country has is being.
I believe the American people are looking for someone to speak the truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're looking for someone to go to Washington, to go along, to get along, to agree with the career politicians in both parties who get in bed with the lobbyists and special interests, then I ain't your guy. There is a reason that we have $18 trillion in debt. Because as conservatives, as Republicans, we keep winning elections. We got a Republican House, we got a Republican Senate, and we don't have leaders who honor their commitments. I will always tell the truth and do what I said I would do.
Yes. I thought you were going to play applause there. I was going to play applause there. Nice. Ted Cruz. And that answer. By the way, if you have something you'd like to say, if you were able to see the debate and you're just joining us, first of all, welcome to the Wells Report. Good to have you here. What did you see in tonight's debate? 866-660-5759. Tell us who you believe won. Join us on the Wells Report here on 660 AM The Answer. It'll be your first shot at being able to tell everybody who you thought is the winner of this first debate and whether or not you've even made up your mind. 866-660-5759. Feel free to join us. The next topic was Planned Parenthood. What to do about Planned Parenthood? Mike Huckabee was the person asked, and here is what he had to say.
I disagree with the idea that the real issue is a constitutional amendment. That's a long and difficult process. I've actually taken a position that's bolder than that. A lot of people are talking about defunding Planned Parenthood as if that's a huge game changer. I think it's time to do something even more bold. I think the next president ought to invoke the 5th and 14th Amendments to the Constitution, now that we clearly know that that baby inside the mother's womb is a person at the moment of conception. The reason we know that it is because of the DNA schedule that we now have clear scientific evidence on. And this notion that we just continue to ignore the personhood of the individual is a violation of that unborn child's 5th and 14th Amendment rights for due process and equal protection under the law. It's time that we recognize the Supreme Court is not the supreme being, and we change the policy to be pro-life and protect children instead of rip up their body parts and sell them like they're parts to a Buick.
Good heavens, what a statement. That the Supreme Court is not a supreme being. Brilliant. 866-660-5759. Mike in Granbury, Texas. Welcome to the Wells Report. What'd you think?
I thought it was a great debate this evening. I think this is kind of like the U.S. Open, though. You can't win it on the first day, but you can lose it.
Yes, exactly. Brilliant.
I consider debates tonight. They would be like in a room negotiating with Middle Eastern negotiators.
No, what did you just say there? You kind of blanked out on us, Mike.
I apologize. I said I was judging the candidates mostly on how they reflected on a negotiation situation.
You're right.
If I stuck them in a room with
Sure.
Russian, or if I stuck them in the room with some Middle Eastern people from Iran, for example, who would be chewed up, who wouldn't be?
Right.
And I think there's a couple people on that stage that demand respect when they walk into a room. And I think there's a few on there that need to keep doing what they're doing. They're doing the best at the situation that they need to be doing.
All right, Mike. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. 866-660-5759. Let me get to Spencer in St. George, Utah. Spence, welcome to the Wells Report.
Good evening.
I think that Paul won, or maybe even tied with Cruz, where Cruz was a really close second tonight, especially when Paul came after Chris Christie about he had a warrant. I mean, that's really crucial. That's a giant distinction between.
Yeah, and that's something that I think we've got that sound. Yeah, we've got that sound. That's coming up here on the Wells Report.
And I think that's really critical that there's a man who's willing to stand up for individual rights versus somebody who definitely was going as a status over the American people.
All right. Thanks very much, Spence. I appreciate that. By the way, Senator Rand Paul was asked why Republicans have the foreign policy on ISIS wrong for the last 20 years. Here's what he had to say.
First of all, only ISIS is responsible for the terrorism. Only ISIS is responsible for the depravity. But we do have to examine how are we going to defeat ISIS. I've got a proposal. I'm the leading voice in America for not arming the allies of ISIS. I've been fighting amidst a lot of opposition from both Hillary Clinton as well as some Republicans who wanted to send arms to the allies of ISIS. ISIS rides around in $1 billion worth of U.S. Humvees. It's a disgrace. We ought to stop it. We shouldn't fund our enemies, for goodness sakes. So we didn't create ISIS. ISIS created themselves, but we will stop them. And one of the ways we stop them is by not funding them and by not arming them.
That was a very, very good answer. 866-660-5759 is our telephone number. We want to know what you thought of tonight's debate. It'll be kind of jumping around a little bit, but this is a journalistic exercise. We're covering the debate as close to real time as humanly possible. Let me get to Laura in Southlake, Texas. Laura, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report.
Oh, I am just so excited that y'all are presenting it and that we have so many candidates. It's a breath of fresh air that we don't get with the regular media, and it's a chance to be educated on, like our who we have an opportunity to vote for, and it's just so different than what we hear on the normal day to day, and it gives me great hope and excitement for the future versus what we currently have.
Well, all I can tell you on that is two things. One, you made the promo. Two, please, by all means, tell all your friends that you're hearing this tonight. Tell them, because we do this every night here on the Wells Report, not necessarily cover a Republican debate. I'm talking about the big issues of the day. We do this every evening, Laura, and we appreciate the fact that you're joining us tonight.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I got to run on here because illegal immigration came up in tonight's debate. And this was something that created a real feeding frenzy among the candidates. In fact, the earlier debate was basically like a simultaneous news conference. All of us thought about that. We were watching them, and it was a question of a candidate and an answer, and a question of a candidate and an answer, and a question of a candidate. They didn't really mix it up. Well, that's not what happened here. These people did mix it up. It was an actual honest-to-goodness, no-kidding debate. And when illegal immigration popped up, Jeb Bush had something to say. Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, Scott Walker also started talking about what immigration ought to be. And they all had different ideas. And we're going to play those for you coming up here in just a couple of seconds on 660 AM The Answer after the break. We're going to give you all of those answers and more as we go step by step through which is actually the second Republican presidential debate. So exactly what happened tonight? You tell us. Who do you think won? That's your part of this coverage. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. We'll play all the cuts. We'll listen to what you have to say, and we'll put it all together as we continue into the night here in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah, the presidential campaign season has officially begun. Tomorrow's newspapers will reflect what we're talking about tonight. Get your oar in the water. 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Who won the debate? Who did themselves the most good? Who hurt themselves tonight? Out of 10 people on the stage, somebody made a mistake. Who was it? You tell us next as we continue on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
The Mike Gallagher Show.
Who are the winners and losers from the first Republican presidential debate? We'll break down the candidates' responses with the National Review's Rich Lowry and Mediaite columnist Joe Concha. Also, new emails released by the IRS show Lois Lerner considered targeting Bristol Palin because she was a spokesperson for a teen pregnancy charity. I have the details. Join us for that and more.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 10, right before Dennis Prager at noon on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM. The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM. The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
I had the home of my dreams, but one day I noticed cracks in the wall by the front door as well as the kitchen window. A neighbor recommended Abacus Foundation Repair. He said they're the best foundation repair company in Dallas, and they use an advanced system on their foundation called Millennium Composite Pilings that'll last 1,000 years. Well, I went to their website, abacusfoundationrepair.com, and saw that they have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and the world's leading service company review website recommended them highly. And the best part? They haven't had a complaint in the last 13 years. So I called them, and I'm happy I did. Abacus Foundation Repair guaranteed their work, and they gave me a lifetime transferable warranty.
If you see cracks in the walls of your home or your doors don't shut properly, call Abacus Foundation Repair at 972-406-9000. That's 972-406-9000. Or go to abacusfoundationrepair.com. If you want your foundation fixed right the first time, call Abacus Foundation Repair.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. Got a question. Why is your mobile phone bill going to help Hillary become president of the United States? Answer is, same reason Big Mobile helped Obama win twice. It's what they do. Now Hillary's counting on Big Mobile to help her in 2016. If you're okay with that, don't listen further. But if you don't want to support Hillary or other leftist candidates and causes, switch to EOS Mobile. EOS Mobile. Website is EOScell, EOSCELL.com to learn more. EOS has the same great nationwide network, high-speed data, voice, pretty much everywhere across the country. EOS has the same devices you've come to love. And with plans starting at $9.99, a plan for every budget. Best of all, EOS Mobile at EOScell.com gives 5% of each bill to conservative causes and candidates. If you're stuck in a contract, they'll buy you out. If you want your phone bill to support conservative candidates, the choice is clear. EOScell.com. Learn more now at EOSCELL.com. EOScell.com. Same phones, same service, better causes. EOScell.com, EOSCELL.com.
Are you tired of being misled on your investment opportunities? Hello, this is Bob Guest with Texas First Financial. You've heard me expose annuities with their penalties, surrender charges, and less than expected returns. Well, there's a new opportunity being pushed that is supposedly a secret. As it turns out, it's only a modified endowment contract pushed by the insurance industry. Both of these products are high commission, poor performing investments. Real opportunity does exist, but it's not in the insurance industry. If you want solid investments where your money is backed dollar for dollar with hard assets, call Texas First Financial today. No fees or gimmicks in the contract, just 1, 2, and 3-year investments earning 9 to 10% returns. How does this compare with your current investments? Are they backed by hard assets? Give us a call today at 972-570-4444 and get your investments back on track without stock market risk or the gotchas of the insurance industry. Get real investments for real people. Call me at 972-570-4444. You'll be glad you did.
Let's make an offer on that Aspen Street house.
That one doesn't have a home warranty.
Is that a problem?
Not if you like paying through the nose on home system breakdowns.